大家好，欢迎收听今天的离岛人，我是杨一真。This is Humans Offshore. Humans Offshore is a podcast show interviewing those who chose to leave their island, sharing our struggles, life, and experiences. If you like our show or have some cool friends who would like to share their story, please let us know on Facebook or Instagram, or a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts would be fantastic. 离岛人是一个以离开岛屿的人们为基础，用 Podcast 访谈提供离岛人们经验分享以及近况分析的平台。2018年年底开始到现在，在 Anchor FM、Apple Podcast、Google Podcast 和 Spotify 等各大平台上都可以收听。节目固定在各周日早上更新，欢迎大家在 FB、IG 上面追踪离岛人，来获得下集预告和离岛人的废话 murmur 更新。如果各位喜欢离岛人，也请帮离岛人们到 Apple Podcast 的页面上给离岛人节目5颗星星，让我们有继续下去的动力。Hey， 大家好 ，This is Humans Offshore and I'm your host 杨一真。So we're like a small podcast platform featuring like people's struggle and experience of those who are offshore. So because of my architectural background, most of the speakers till today is in the beginning were mainly architecture related, but we're also expanding to other professions and languages. So if you have some awesome friends like today's speaker, you can introduce them to us. Please DM us on Facebook, Instagram, or you can email us by humansoffshore@gmail.com. So today we're featuring Ivy Lam. And she was born in Hong Kong with a degree in science, found her passion in connecting people. So Ivy has been working in Hong Kong in airport and also in travel agency. Now she's working in Booking.com as a commercial specialist in Tokyo and will soon continue her career to Taiwan. So personally I believe traveling is one of the best things you can do in life, and you can meet people with different backgrounds and experience different culture, and of course like those very like the cuisines are the best within the best. Therefore, I'm looking forward to find out how Ivy Lam turned her passion into her dream job, and wish I could do the same as well. So please welcome Ivy Lam.
Hi everyone. So this is Ivy.
Ivy, I'm so sorry.
It's okay, no worry. Actually I'm from Hong Kong. So currently I'm working in Tokyo. I think 1.5 years ago. And yes, I actually working in a travel agent, Booking.com. Hope some of you know this name.
I like, if you guys don't know this name, I really have nothing else to say.
Yeah, and actually I'm really think working in travel industry is slightly different when you're traveling. Because like well, of course, like I have also interest in traveling, but then at the same time, like working in travel industry is slightly different because you still need to consider the business.
Yes.
So that is different things. But then I'm actually lucky that I can relocate from Hong Kong to like Tokyo, have chances to come here. And then what I think is that I'm really very lucky to have this chance. Mainly, I think because I did study in the university as a major for the Japanese studies. So that's why that time I learned Japanese. It's not very good, not very fluent, but at least I can speak. So that's why I have chance to relocate to Japan here. So that's a slightly special chance for me, not really using the Japanese when I'm traveling, but also in the working life.
So since you just mentioned that you like the traveling and the travel agency differences,
Yep.
So like since when did you start like wanted to work in like a travel business? Is that a choice, or is that just something just happens after graduation?
Well, actually, to be honest, even I major in Japanese studies, my degree is actually science. my second major, or I would say that like another major, actually I'm major in statistics.
How many majors do you have?
2 majors.
One is
Statistics and one is Japanese studies. So I kind of like studied 2 different things at the same time. What I like, actually, I like mathematics. So that's time like when I'm in secondary school, I study science,
yes.
physics, chemistry, biology,
those.
yeah, those things that actually I'm interested, and that's why I think I want to continue studying mathematics, because I'm kind of like a logical person.
Right.
So I like kind of playing the numbers and also want to do some analytics.
Right.
That's why I choose statistics. But at the same time, I think like if all the day I study statistics, only taking a look at the numbers, it may be boring. So that's why I kind of like figure out if I have chance to study other things that for my university is able for me to study like totally different major.
Right.
So that's why I choose Japanese studies. And some people actually ask me why you choosing Japanese studies but not other things like maybe geography or whatever, or even economics. There's quite a number of my classmates, they actually study economics as the second major.
Yeah, because like
that's kind of related,
like, yeah,
right? Because it's like
mm.
exactly. And then also like in Hong Kong, like finance is very important for your career. I would say that.
Yes.
Rather than Japanese studies, I would say. But I would say that like okay, statistics is kind of like science, but Japanese studies is kind of art. So I want to be like
Japanese is kind of art.
Yes, it's actually art major. I mean, not art
is
major,
that like
but
are you studying in Japanese or you're studying in Japanese culture or
both?
Okay.
Actually, I need to study Japanese history, culture, Japanese language, translation, and some also like actually a lot of like courses I need to study that time to get this major.
That is a lot of work.
Exactly, but it was very interesting, to be honest. Like because sometimes when I study the statistics, I need to like doing programming. I need to write some program. It's very frustrating.
Right.
Then in the meantime, actually, when I need to study the Japanese study, then I kind of like okay, I can have a break.
Right.
So kind of like a little balance for myself.
Right.
Then this is like the first step that actually I get in touch in these 2 different majors. Then after my graduation, then my first job is actually working in the travel agent. Then that time it's actually nothing related to statistics, to be honest.
So why do you choose to go there?
Yeah, exactly. Why? Because actually that job can use my Japanese language.
So you choose Japanese
kind of like a
other than
exactly higher priority than statistics. And why is that the case? Because actually during my university life, I did an intern in a kind of statistic government department.
Right.
And I feel like working as like statistic related job is super boring.
Is that because you only facing the numbers?
Exactly. And then you have no way to talk with others because you are the only one to deal with the numbers.
Talk to the numbers.
Exactly. So I'm not really enjoying that job, but then of course I finish it, but then I'm thinking if my whole life doing this kind of job, am I really happy? So that's why after like this experience, then after my graduation, I choose like, okay, then maybe I can choose using the Japanese language to find my first job. That's why I choose the travel agent's job. And that time I use my Japanese language because that time I need to help to reserve the hotel in Japan.
Right.
So that's why I need to use my Japanese. So that's why I choose this job for my first job. Then that's why I cannot enter the travel industry.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's how. And so, are you having, like, So while you're working in that travel agency,
Mm-hmm.
do you really like the job? Like, what do you guys actually do inside of it?
Actually, to be honest, for the job content, I really enjoyed it. What my main job duty is like, because like when you go to like travel agent,
Right.
and then you need to book a group as a group, right?
Right.
Then what I need to help is like helping for those group to reserve the hotel.
Yeah.
So for example, like the trip, you need to go to Tokyo, and then the next one is maybe Hakone, and
Right.
then back to Tokyo.
Right.
So this kind of like 5-day trip, then I need to help you to help that group to reserve the hotel. So I need to contact the hotel like to see if they have the ability
Right.
for example 30 people in this period.
Right.
And then what is the price, and then is it the price fitting the budget?
Right.
If not, then I need to negotiate with the sales.
Right.
So kind of like not only reservation agent, but at the same time I need to have kind of a little sales skills
Right.
that time. So I think it's actually interesting because I have time to talk.
You enjoy talking to people.
Well, because I think when
You really fit in this show, please.
yeah, because I think like when you talk, then you will know what other things,
Right.
and then kind of like I can improve myself as well.
Right.
Because if you are only dealing with myself, when I'm only dealing with myself, then how I can know if I'm correct or not? So that's why I
Exactly.
kind of like to talk with others, and then yeah, because I always think that the world is too big, and there's so many different kind of people and things happening. So that's why I think through like talking with each other, then you will know more. You will not only limit it to your own world, but then you will to a wider world. So that's why I like enjoying talking with others, not only to myself, of course.
You enjoy talking.
Yeah,
Good to
exactly.
know.
And then also listening, of course.
So since if you like the content of that job, then why do you switch? Like, what makes you want to switch to the airport one?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm kind of like enjoying the job content, and also actually I really learned a lot, to be honest, because it's actually my first job, and I really have chance to meet like Japanese client as well, and also have business trip to Japan as well. But then the problem is because that company is the owner is actually Hong Kong people,
Right.
Hong Kong owner. His mindset is a little bit Hong Kong style, I would say that. Which means that like
there's nothing bad about it, but it's just like Hong Kong.
yeah, it's just Hong Kong style, which means that they actually will ask for more. Especially they will really ask for you to have the overtime job without any pay. For me, actually, it's fine from the beginning because I think it's actually good for my work experience.
Right.
But then for a longer time, I would think that why I didn't get what I actually supposed to get. And then like they will have more demand, and then they will actually even judge you if you kind of leave early. Not early, I would say just on time. So that's why I think if this kind of thing continues, which means that I will not have my own life because
Right.
all my time was just spending it on working.
Right.
Is it really? Is it I have, because it's just my first year, can I find a better job or find a better way out?
Right.
So that's why after a year then I kind of like, during kind of later, and then I kind of searching, is there any new opportunity? Then I find it, okay, in the airport, there's like a position that I can also communicate or talk to the people. That's why I changed my job to working in airports. So, yeah, kind of like that's the reason that I changed. I would say that it's not really horrible because I would say that because everyone is just human. Like you will have emotion, I will have emotion as well.
Sometimes they just throw punches at. I don't know.
No, if they
that is
they have
really-
bunches, then I will call police. So it's not really often that they will use like really
Physical
hitting. Yeah, exactly.
violence.
But then of course they will use many wordings
Yes.
to complain, yelling, and whatever. Which yes, emotional is like sometimes I will also feel angry or upset.
Right.
But at the same time, when you kind of like understand the situation and kind of think a little bit more, maybe if you having the same case as them, then maybe you will feel angry as well. Maybe.
Right.
But then if you like kind of think a little bit more, then you kind of like, okay, I kind of understand why they're angry, then you will kind of release a little bit. But of course, like when I face like those kind of complaint and then like yelling, usually I would just keep quiet, because silence is the magic. Sometimes when they keep complaining, it's fine. Just let them talk.
They just
When-
want to talk. They just want to, how
Exactly.
do you say, let go of that emotion.
Exactly.
And
And
it
then
just
you
happens
just
to be
keep
you.
silent and then you just nod your head. That is fine. After a bit, they will lose their anger, and then they will lose their energy as well. Then actually after that, then you can continue like what you need to say,
Okay.
or like your suggestion, or like whatever
right.
recommendation. So I think that's really important, and also like what I learned during this job as well. Because if you are not the patient person, if you continue like argue same as them, then actually it's meaningless,
Right.
because like the situation cannot be solved. So, but I think to be honest, it's actually not a lot of complaint. I mean, sometimes they actually really appreciate for your help, and then you from their expression, I mean facial expression, or like from the word, you will know that they actually really appreciate what you did for them. Then I will feel like, okay, my job is actually really helping people, but not like only receiving complaints. Then you will gain like, okay, I have some satisfaction in my job. Yeah, it's not really only unhappy or like sadness during the job, but also like the happy things.
So is that the, how do you say, during the job, like the travel agency and also the airport one, where did you find fulfillment inside?
I think, okay, for travel agent, for example, I think the fulfillment is like when I need to negotiate with others, and then I can really get the negotiating done. It's really difficult, to be honest, because that time I actually dealing with the Japanese client.
Yeah.
So sometimes and also my Japanese is not really good, and sometimes I need to think what they actually means.
Right.
Then actually like after some experience, then I kind of like know, okay, when they say this sentence, for example, it means that you have high chance. Then I kind of like know how to get it done.
Right.
Final. Then once I can finish this kind of like negotiation, then I really feel like very satisfied. I really think very happy. And actually I think also like in I think in airport it's slightly different, because there's like no negotiation can be done. But then I think like sometimes providing suggestion to them is actually also very good. Sometimes that time, because they already, for example, they lose their passport, they are
Right.
panicked.
Of course.
Almost like I will panic as well, right? Then what kind of like, you cannot be panicked as them, right? Because I'm not the one lose the passport. So I usually like ask them like then when your flight, and then where like your last time seeing them, and then asking more question, because when they're panicked they cannot think anything. Then you just like help to guide them, think a little bit, and then to okay, if they have no idea, it's fine. then I would say that, okay, then I will ask my colleague to help you to contact all, like not all, but then the other department to check. At the same time, like maybe you can like call or contact your airline. So once you guide them and then they follow your instruction, and finally they can like not solve the problem, but at least like get this situation be better in better situation, then I think it's also like the fulfillment for me. Because I cannot like help them to get a new passport, but at least I can help them like what you need to do. Yeah, of course, like the first step, but then at least like, okay, then your next step, maybe you need to do this. The first step, maybe you need to do this. Like what I can help, maybe for example, I can help you to contact the airline, but at the same time, maybe you need to go to the police sometimes. Then I think in like this kind of things, I will feel satisfied, because I would think that, okay, if one day I become the one who lose passport, I want someone like help me.
Yes.
As well. So that's why I will try my best to help others at that situation.
So is that what you're trying to do now in Japan as well?
I think yes or no, but then like I think like after like the airport this experience, then I am very lucky to go into like kind of the travel related industry, the travel agent. Then that time I actually doing not complete different, no customer service, no sales. It's actually operation. From the beginning, it's actually operation, because I need to know all kind of systems and then like the reports, etc. Then after 2 years, then I switched to become a sales. Then that's why I kind of back to like what I need to do. I mean, I used to do before. I need to talk with the clients. I need to negotiate. I also need to receive the complaint actually, and I need to like think how I need to solve the situation. So actually all kind of things as a sales is actually developed from my previous 2 jobs, like from the travel agent and also like from the airport as well. Then after all kind of this experience, so kind of like, because in Japan our company is have a less experienced person, so kind of like I have chance to come here to kind of like grow together. Yeah, so that's why I think the previous experience really built myself up to work here.
While you were in Hong Kong, you were working in an airport. So how does that, like, how do you get to Tokyo?
No, I mean actually when I'm in Hong Kong, actually I work in airport, right? And then actually after like a year working in airport, then I changed to like working in Booking.com in Hong Kong.
I see.
Then like around 4 years, then I changed to Tokyo.
I see. I was like, that's a huge jump.
Yeah, exactly. But then actually I work from the Hong Kong office first as like the operation and then sales, and then to Tokyo. So actually I work here for quite a long time already. Around, if in just this company, not in Tokyo, I already work nearly 6 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. So actually it's a long journey, but actually I kind of like switching roles. So that's why every time when I change the role, I will treat it as a new job, because the content is actually slightly different. So that's why actually when I first relocate here, I do the sales job. And I need to like facing the hotel partners. Then actually after half year, then I switch to this internal job. It's actually I need to like facing kind of product related job. That when headquarters have any new products coming, then I need to think how to implement in our market. So it's not really partner facing, but kind of like internal facing job currently.
So what do you think is the biggest difference between working in the Hong Kong booking.com and the Tokyo booking.com?
I think I cannot say as a company, but like in the environment as a whole is different because like the culture-wise is different. In Hong Kong, like usually we kind of like work very fast, I would say that, and we also usually like say one word is efficient. This like Hong Kong style, really like our company. But I think in general, what we usually is like all other companies like yes, get it done, no matter what kind of method you can use. I mean, like of course not illegal. You just get it done. It's fine within like the legal action. But like in Japan, I think in general the difference is like not really efficient. Well, I cannot say it's not efficient, inefficient. But then it's like efficient is not the first priority.
It's not.
Yeah, but then they will kind of like need to understand the background, and then they need to think the action plan carefully, and then like they need to plan ahead.
Right.
Then they take action.
Then it just takes like a lifetime.
Yeah, it takes quite a number of steps to get the thing finished. So I would say that it's not inefficient, but it's like they have kind of structure. So they need to follow the structure, but then Hong Kong style is like no matter what, you just get it done. So that's like the difference I can feel like compare Hong Kong and Japan. And then like another thing is like what I feel is like working in Hong Kong sometimes is easier when you work with the colleagues because we are usually having open discussion. If I have any idea to the projects or whatever, I usually just open up and then I would say that I have this another idea better, or like we can kind of compromise together. But in Japan, usually when someone have idea and then every others is just silent, it doesn't mean that they don't have idea. They have their own opinion or idea as well. But then they usually will not discuss during the meetings. They like to discuss like after meeting.
What was the point of the meeting anyway?
Well, I don't know, but because usually I'm the one that continue to like open up the discussion, because when I'm not agree, I'm just not agree, right?
Right.
Because you have the point to disagree to some ideas, or you have another better or like another suggestion, right? So I would just continue for my suggestion. But sometimes like for other people, they will have their own idea, but then they will not share during meeting. They will just agree for the idea, but then afterwards they will challenge. But you ask me, I don't know the reason as well, but it's just like I don't know.
Because I thought the purpose of a meeting is that everybody brings up their own their own plate, and then you can discuss which one is better, or like we can take a bit from this plate, a bit from that plate, and then we can like make a awesome plate.
Yeah, I think maybe also another reason is they need time for process. Maybe. So that's why they need some time to digest, to have idea afterwards. Maybe. That's I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but then yeah, I think just like the different working style.
Can you tell us about like how many people are there in Hong Kong and also in Tokyo?
Actually, Hong Kong, we have around 15 people.
Yes.
Yeah, in the office. In Tokyo here, we have around like 80 people. And in Japan, actually, we have 6 offices. So actually have around like 300. Scale wise, I think it's also different because like Hong Kong is just a very small office. We will just voice out when we have any trouble. But then here it's really difficult because we have different department as well. We have different teams, and then we have more people. Sometimes it's really hard for you to really get in touch with other people. So that's also maybe the reason behind like why they hesitate to share some of their idea as well. But I think another reason is because in actually here there's more new hires.
Right.
So they are less experienced. So they are really not sure if their logic is correct or not. So that's why I always encourage them just voice out. There's nothing correct or wrong. Even for the action plan, there's actually different action is fine.
Right.
You can do A action, and then another person can try B action, and just compare the result.
Right.
There's nothing good or bad.
Like you just mentioned a lot of new recruits. What do you think people need to get into, for example, like booking.com? Like what's the character or like the personality or the skills you need to get in? Like of course department wise you have like, you know, different skill sets, but just for like the company culture or like for the basic requirements, what do people need?
I think actually of course you need to speak English. It's like the very basic requirement, but at the same time like actually we kind of like respect different people, different culture, different different style person. So that's why we actually need people to respect others.
Right.
And also we because we are actually the headquarters is based in Amsterdam. Actually we are European company, so actually we need to be fair.
Yes.
You cannot judge people like just based on their age or their gender or other things, because like everyone is just the same. Even like you are the for example CEO, that she actually will talk to us like, and you actually can send a message to her. So that's why like in our company you need to have this kind of like idea first, otherwise maybe you will get shocked like why like someone like talk to me as like from a director level talk to me. But actually it's very common for our company to have this kind of chances to like the director will just maybe talk to you.
Like how many employees in the globally?
15,000 I think now, or a little bit more, but yeah. And then we actually having around 200 offices.
Yes.
Worldwide. So that's why we have different kind of people, different culture, different different style. So that's why we actually also need people that need to respect this kind of things as well.
And do you think Japanese office is fit in this culture, or does it, because we all know that in Asia the culture is different from Europe or in States?
Yeah, but I think actually for my colleagues, actually they are quite fit in, because at least they respect for each other's, like even I'm a foreigner to them, they actually respect me, not like saying okay you're Japanese bad so I don't talk to you. I cannot see these kind of things happen. At least I cannot feel that. Not good that they don't talk to me. No, not really. At least they are really open up to talk to me. And also I think they actually love to know more about other culture as well. Like sometimes I will share about like Hong Kong situation.
Yes.
Or they actually will ask me like, oh, how's Hong Kong now, for example. Well, political or like
not good.
Yeah. Difficult, complicated situation. And they will kind of ask me more, and then I will share more as well. So that's why I think actually they kind of like having the respect as well. Yeah.
So will we continue to work in this kind of how do you say, travel industry, travel agency? Like what's the, because I don't really know the industry, so like what's the career plan for your industry, like, or for yourself?
Okay, for the industry, of course we want to have more guests. So everyone needs to like book more trips and travel more. So that's our mission. No, actually I think our company mission is not only doing about the hotels.
Yes.
Recently actually our company is actually doing more about experience. So like for example, in just take Tokyo as example, we can book the kimono experience and or like tea ceremonies. So this kind of like experience, well, it's a new category for us because originally we only doing about the hotel. Now we are kind of moving also the experience because like travel usually you have not on booking the hotel. I mean the accommodation is just part of it, but then the most of it is actually you are having like your own travel experience, doing different kind of like activities during the trip. So that's why we are moving towards this kind of direction, and I actually really looking forward to it because for myself actually I also will book some, for example, day tour and then also some experience in Japan. But I think luckily it's like because I know Japanese, so I'm easy to just book myself. But like imagine if you are foreigner, you only know English, and then all the website in Japan is like Japanese, then how you can reserve those like experience, right? Then I think like it's really good like we have going to this direction, and then later we have this kind of platform for the guests to book this kind of experience. Then I mean we allow like the guests to have more travel related things, not only just okay you just going the TripAdvisor #1 tourist spots, that's it. But I don't think like the future trend will be like that. I mean
Is this service online
yes,
already?
I think
You have any recommendation for me?
in Tokyo or where?
Anywhere in Japan?
To be honest, because I like rabbits.
Okay.
Actually, I did visit once for Rabbit Cafe. And then,
In Tokyo?
yes. That's actually in Shibuya, that's one.
Oh, really?
And then there's another one in, I forgot the location. There's like two that available. They're actually really interesting. Because I like rabbits, so that's why. It depends on if you like it or not.
I actually got bitten by a rabbit when I was in high school.
Really?
Yes, I was doing an exchange, like a 1-year exchange in Canada, and then the family I stayed in, they have this rabbit. And I was just playing video games with the host family's kids, and then we're just playing, and then the rabbit just came because they kind of keep the rabbit not in the cage, just keep them in like cat or dog, and so the rabbit was like running around, and we just sit there, and they just sit there because they don't like the rabbit doesn't harm them.
Yeah.
And as I was playing video games, and the rabbit just comes close to me, and then she actually bite me on the hand, and I was like freaking bleeding at the moment, like it was over the carpet. I'm like carrots.
Not attacking people.
So well, yeah, I will try. I believe that the rabbits in Tokyo are well trained, and then they're like peaceful creature.
I would say it's very clean, and then it's very it's very nice experience. I would say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it.
I think because like people travel, usually they will not travel once to one destination. So usually like for your first trip, of course like you will go some basic. But then when you repeat travel the same destination, you will sit for more. I mean different experience. So that's why we are kind of like want to develop this kind of like repeater guests. Even for the same destination, you will have different experience and different feeling. So that's why we are moving to this direction as well. And I think it's kind of like the future trend for all of us. Travel, yes, and then the same destination, yes, but then it's like different things that you can do.
What about your own career plan?
For my own career plan, actually, because I actually love to take challenges. So that's why, for me, I'm actually open up for different kind of things. That's why actually recently I changed my role to kind of like from external facing to internal facing. So that's kind of like, for me, it's like a new challenge. Then actually recently I also have chance later to move to the new country again. So to be honest, I think I'm actually very lucky. I have chances to not really only traveling to different countries, but I also have chances to working in different countries. I don't think like everyone will have same chance as me. So that's why I really kind of like feel happy about it. But I think like working in different country will have kind of like, how to say, love and hate. So like when I once relocate here, working here, I really miss Hong Kong, to be honest. I'm not saying the environment is bad, but then I will still miss home because I don't have friends here and my parents is not here, and then yes, I have colleagues, but then they are not really friends because it's kind of like work related, right?
You should have joined our group like earlier.
Yeah.
Seriously, we don't really, yeah, like we don't really care. Like even though that group is just like Taiwanese based, but we're open to all kinds of
course,
people.
Yeah. But I think also that time because I also busy in relocation things, you know, application not visa, but then those of stuff. So that's why I'm kind of like not really open up myself to know new peoples as well. Because in the work environment, I already need to know many new people. For my personal life, I'm like, okay, maybe I need a little bit rest. That's why like, okay. So from my, first few months, I kind of like really homesick. After like 4 months later, then I kind of like buy a ticket back to Hong Kong for a few days, just a walk. Afterwards, of course, it's better because I kind of like know the environment, and then I kind of know more people, and then I kind of like get into when everyone's speaking Japanese.
All Japanese well, it's a language that we know but we don't really use.
Exactly.
You're not really used to it. So in the beginning of those days, my head hurts. I don't know about other people, but my head hurts. Every day I go back home, I'm like, I'm done with Japanese for the day.
So
I don't want to hear any
language.
Yes, I don't want to hear about it anymore. It's enough.
Before I'm like really like to talk with others, but because like every time when I talk, I need to process in my brain. I need to translate from Japanese to my own language, Cantonese, or like at least Chinese, right? So it takes some time. And then when I need to express myself, it takes some time for process again. Then it's kind of like, okay, I'm tired.
As I know that after like working in Tokyo, you're going to be relocated to Taiwan.
Yeah.
So how long are you planning to stay there?
Well, to be honest, I don't have any timeline yet because for myself, actually, this job duty, I really like it because I have chance to facing outside, the partners, but at the same time, like because our companies keep improving every day, every week, so every day I need to improve myself or I need to get like update myself. So it's very interesting. So that's why like the company wise and also like the job duty wise, I really enjoyed it. So that's why I don't really have any fixed timeline how long I stay in Taiwan, or maybe after some time I'm also seeking for opportunity to other country as well.
Will you be planning to go back to Hong Kong anytime soon? Like
Actually,
eternally speaking.
I really want to go back Hong Kong, but then for me that's like the struggling point is like it's really difficult for me like going back, but then like just renting a small 10 or 15 square meter house. It's not called house, I would say. It's just like, well, I feel different when after I came to Tokyo or Japan. It's like during the weekday, of course we need to work, right? During the weekend, when I have having the holiday, I really can enjoy myself. Maybe just going to the park, or just going to cafe,
Right.
relaxing for whole afternoon or like whole day, right? But in Hong Kong, the situation is, even if you go to the park for a picnic, it's crowded. What I like here is like during the weekend, I really can enjoy myself, like
Right.
even alone in the park, and then enjoy the view or whatever. But in Hong Kong, you need to think really hard what kind of things you can do. And then it's actually everywhere is very crowded. Even you go to shopping mall, it's crowded, cafe crowded, restaurant only an hour and a half you need to go, and then park everywhere's people. So that's like, am I really having my own life?
In this case, I think you were gonna enjoy Taiwan.
Okay. I'm looking for
because like if people in Taiwan are more relaxed compared to Japan, and the pace is slower compared to Hong Kong and Japan, and the people speak like Mandarin and English.
Many Hong Kong people is really looking forward to escaping Hong Kong. I mean, I kind of like same situation as well, but then like in Hong Kong, it's actually that's the case. So many people, they're just at least for the youngsters, after the graduation, they will just do the working holiday. They have chances to really have the work visa outside Hong Kong. I know it's hard, but then it's also many situations. I mean, many issues happening in Hong Kong.
You can ask your parents to move out.
You want to go to
Asshole.
or in the floor. Yeah, I think it's like really difficult. So that's why like many Hong Kong people, they want to like go outside, and of course like many friends see me as very good. I mean, not very good, like they will think, okay, you are going to Japan, you are so happy, or you are so lucky, I would say that. But then I think after I came here, yes, of course I think I'm lucky, I have this chance because not everyone to have it. But at the same time, I don't think they will understand the difficult part that working here. Especially like I have no friends. I mean, like of course like most of my friends I'm in Hong Kong, right? So even like Hong Kong and Japan only have an hour difference, really, because like for example, when I usually I will go on bed like at 12 usually because I need to work next day. Sometimes they will just continue the message. So that's why I can feel like if I'm still in Hong Kong, then actually in the same time zone, then I can like still chatting with them. So that's like still have the distance, and of course like there's still I think is the language. Of course like I understand, but then I cannot 100% express myself, and also like kind of like the expectation thing is different because you are not Japanese. Sometimes they will treat you kind of different. It's not good or bad things. They just treat you different. So I remember a very funny thing is like when I think a few months ago I traveled to Kyushu, and then where? Fukui. And then I just having a tourist spot, and then I take pictures there. And then I think one group is like I think from Taiwan. They use Japanese to ask me to help them to take. And I think they think I'm Japanese. But then when I go to the restaurant, the Japanese staff, waiter, he taught me in English. So he kind of know I'm not Japanese. So I'm like, then what? Who am I? Like, am I foreigner or am I Japanese? Because like from the tourists, I'm Japanese, but then from the local, I'm foreigner. So I'm like, okay, I'm in between because like I'm not fluent in Japanese. So kind of like this kind of frustration also like, it's interesting, but at the same time it's like, I can never overcome it because I cannot tell you like, no, I'm not Japanese, because you cannot write a word in my head, right? They just think you're Japanese. I cannot say it's happy or unhappy, but it's just like I need to kind of accept it.
Yeah.
Because it's the situation.
Yeah, but
I cannot change it anyway.
I think this situation, I don't know, like a lot of people come to Japan and then they somehow want to be Japanese, but they have this issue. I think it's like totally opposite from yours, is that they want to be Japanese, but the Japanese people will never recognize them as Japanese. I think Japanese kind of more of a bound by blood situation. And even you're Japanese, bound by blood, but if you're like, your thinking style is more westernized, or if you can speak English fluently, then somehow you're not that Japanese.
Actually, for me, why I'm coming to Japan is just like I want to get an experience. That's it. I didn't really looking forward to stay here for a very long time, because to be honest, like I don't have really family. I didn't marry yet, so I didn't really need to consider my another half.
Well, I'm just gonna recommend you Taiwan, because like I think in Taiwan we don't, like, of course people are like bound by blah 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 blah, you have to look Asian, blah blah blah, but because we're so open and then we're kind of free for everyone to do anything as long as you don't hurt anyone, and as long as you love that island as your own, then we accept you as a Taiwanese. So there's a lot of foreign people just stay there forever. I don't know why.
Well, actually some of my colleagues actually recommend me to go to Europe as well. But at least for my next time, of course, like I will try to go to Taiwan first and then to see how it's going. And then I didn't really have a really long plan yet, but I really open up for myself and I just want to try whatever I want. And maybe I'm not, one day I feel tired, I don't know, like I will do totally different things.
I think this is really inspiring that like, for example, while we're in high school or like in university, people is like, you have to plan for the next thing, and then you have to like do something so you can get a better job.
Parents, right?
Yeah, well,
Teachers.
they're for your own good, so they want to like make sure that you can have a nice future, or like have a good paid job. But as long as you followed your heart and then just like learn, do whatever you feel it's best for you at the moment, I think at the end, as you said, things will be connected.
Yeah, I think because like when you're doing something that time, or actually when you know someone that time, you will never know what we're going to be connected later. But then when you just do it that time, like just try, and then afterward you think, when you look back, if that time I don't choose that step or that action, today I won't have this kind of things.
感谢大家收听今天的离岛人，我是杨英珍。This is Humans Offshore.